Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. Now exclusively on Spotify, powered by Anchor. My name is Alec Cuenca and I'm your host. And before anything else, I would like to greet each and every one of you. Welcome back to the show. I am so grateful that you guys are clicking on this episode. That just means that you are invested in improving and becoming a better version of yourself to make better decisions for yourself, of course, and for the people around you. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, then I hope that you like this one. If you do, go ahead and check out the other amazing episodes that we have here. And also, if you like this one, this podcast, please give this podcast a 5-star rating on Spotify. It literally helps be recommended to a lot more people that listens to podcasts. This is actually the biggest help that I get on helping reach more people organically. So if you could spare a little few minutes of your time, please rate this podcast a 5-star rating on Spotify. Now, before I go on talk about this topic, I just want to make one announcement. I will be having my live event on June 26th in Makati, Rockwell, Makati. So if you are in the metro, please come join us. This is going to be a workshop on self-awareness and growth mindset. I believe that in any kind of transformation, it really begins with awareness. So if you want to redefine your story, change your current reality, please come join us. Tickets are still available. There are still a few slots left, so just click on the link in the description box below to register. And so for this episode, I want to talk about how to make better decisions in life. And I have talked to a lot of people. I really love connecting with people. I really love hearing about their stories. But one thing that I think most people have a problem with is making decisions that they would not regret. Okay, I believe that you don't regret the decisions that you don't take. You only regret the decisions. You don't regret the decisions that you make. You only regret the decisions that you don't take. And so how do we try to save ourselves from regretting not only the decisions that we don't make, but also the decisions and the choices that we currently choose? And so I have never really thought about this one. I'd always like to say that, just try. And if it works out for you, congratulations. And if it doesn't work out for you, then adjust, right? That's been my main motto or notion or angle that I look at it, so that I make decisions. But I'm going to be completely honest. Some decisions that I make, I regret them. They're not exactly the best decisions that I make. Why? It's because the decisions that I made are not exactly aligned with who I really am. And so, if you want to make better decisions in your life, it really begins with knowing what are your values. What are the things that are important to you? I can't say that the best decision for me would be the best decision for you. I can't say that there is one major blueprint on how we can make better decisions. It's totally case-to-case basis. I have my own set of values that guide me to making better decisions. And I've learned about this concept, and I've really been invested about this concept when I was doing a session with my mastermind, with my group coaching sessions as well. The Better Me Project, which will also restart in July. So if you want to be a part of that, register, click down the link below if you want to join us. And one thing that we touched on is values, being aligned, being intentional with the actions and the choices that you make. But in order for us to be aligned, we need to reach that certain level of self-awareness that we know that this is truly what we think is best for us in the current moment. And so, if you want to make decisions that you won't regret, you got to make decisions based on your values. So, what are the different values available? Again, it can be anything. I suggest if you don't have a clear view on what your values are, just go search Google, right? Google it. What are some values that I can choose from? Because we already have a set of values. These set of values are combinations of beliefs that we have based on the experiences from our past, right? And these values often changes. It changes from time to time. And so we got to be aware, what are the things that are we currently valuing the most at this moment. So what I did is, I printed out, or I screenshotted some of the most common values that people have, and I shared it with the group coaching sessions that I have. And before I did that talk, I also took a time to reflect on myself. Like, what are the values that I have in my life? And I currently have three values. One is growth. I value growth a lot. And I know for a fact that even though I may have accomplished some of the goals and the dreams that I made when I was younger, or maybe just about 2 years or 3 years or 4 years ago, I know that I still have a lot to learn. And I know that for this year, actually, one of my banner words for this year, or my banner word for this year, if you're not familiar with it, a banner word is like your motto for the year. So one of my banner word is foundation. Foundation. I call this year Foundation 2022. I know this because whatever I'm doing right now, this is a setup for what I would do when I am 30 years old, when I have more resources, when I'm more credible, when I'm able to reach more people. This is basically the foundation that I'm building. And in any kind of foundation, I got to make sure that it's strong. And in order for me to to have a strong foundation, I need to grow. I need to relearn, or I think the better term for it is unlearn some of the things that I believe in, and then learn more stuff. Because if I'm not growing, I'm dying. Okay? And if you're not growing, you're dying as well. Because we're human beings. We're living things. We are meant to grow. Like a plant, it always grows. Even if you don't see it, every single day it grows, it changes. And for us human beings, I believe as well that we should also grow. And so for me, growth is my top value right now. In any kind of decision that I make sure that I would grow from this decision. I would grow from this choice. I would grow from this experience. And so, and I am really humbled and honored by everything that is happening in my life right now. But I know that I need to still learn a lot. I'm reading this book, Becoming Supernatural, and it opened my eyes in the topics of basically the bridge between science and mysticism. Mysticism is the topic about energies, chakras, some of the things that we don't really read and talk about. But I realized that there's certain truth to this, and I can still learn from it. And as I'm reading it, I know that I'm growing. And so I make sure that reading a book about things that I do not know, I do that every single day because I grow from that action, right? And so in any kind of decision that I make, I'm going to ask myself, will this help me grow? Okay, that's my first value. The second value that I have is adventure. Even though I love my job, I don't consider this as my job, my work. I love my work. I love everything that I'm doing right now to earn. But I know for a fact that I'm still very young. And one thing that I would never like to see myself be in a position in or experience in life, I don't want to see myself miss out on my youth. And I know for a fact that I can only be 20 something once. I'll be able to settle down when I'm in my 30s. I'll be able to pursue a lot of things when I'm in my 30s. But right now, your 20s, this is the most adventurous life that you could ever possibly live in. There's a little restraint, there's so much to experience. And so I ask myself, would this choice, would this decision help me or bring me more adventures in life? Because I have this main character energy, and I hope you have it as well, right? I believe that we're kind of like living in a simulation, and a lot of us are just going with how we are pre-programmed. We're following the script that was passed down to us, that was handed down to us, and so we're kind of like living in a way with we're living in a way that is told, that is written by other people. But if we're doing that, are we really living our own lives? Are we really living or practicing our own free will? And so I make sure that I stay curious, I stay open, I allow spontaneity to come into my life and to give myself a little bit of adventure. I make sure that at least twice a month, I would go out and go on an adventure, go on a trip. I would go to La Union, I would go to Manila, I would go to Baguio, or any place that I would like to visit. Right, every single month, I make sure that I spend a day or two to just go on an adventure. Don't plan things out. Adjust accordingly. Um, be okay with unplanned things happening and allow adventure to come into your life. Why? Because again, if you have that main character energy, you know that your life is a big story, is a long story. It's like a movie. And you know that if a movie is always okay, then it's a boring movie. You need to have some instances where you'd fall down, it becomes, there's a lot of questions, you don't know what's going to happen next. And so that's adventure. And if I look at myself like a main character in my own movie, then I would be wanting to have more adventures, because more adventures means more stories. And if I have more stories, then I have more stories to share. And as you know, I'm a full time content creator, and I only share what I have experienced. So I make sure that I don't just talk about things, I experience them. And one way that I could do that is if I allow adventure to come into my life. Okay? And my last value is fun. Fun. In everything that I am doing, am I having fun? Because I know for a fact that I only get one chance at life. And even like the bad parts of my life, I'm now able to, when I make a decision and it turns out to be it would give me a very challenging result. I would tell myself, now, okay, this is fun because now I'm being pushed to my limits. I'm being forced to grow, and I have adventure in my life. I'm not sure where will this take me, but I am sure for a fact that I will grow and I will have more adventures. But here's the thing, I also enjoy them. Like, I have so much fun solving problems that I haven't solved before, and I have so much fun just trying to prove that I can and I'm capable of answering or dealing with situations that I've never dealt before, right? So that's kind of like the side of fun, and also just like the simple fun, having fun, smiling, laughing, dancing, singing, partying, just having a great time, having fun in anything that I'm doing, whether I'm reading a book, whether I'm partying out, whether um, I'm doing my work. I'm doing this podcast. As I'm doing this podcast, I'm having so much fun, right? Because this is something that I really love to do. I really enjoy these things. And what's the point of it if we're going to see our goals happen in life, but we're not having fun with the process? Guys, you don't need to just choose one. A lot of people think that success is mainly compromised by hard work and hustle and grind and all those gritty stuff. It's not about that. You can have both. We're living in an abundant life. We're living in an abundant world. And just because you are asked to do hard work doesn't mean you can't have fun with it. You can have fun with everything that you're doing. And that's one of my values. Every time I am faced with a decision, I ask myself, will I have fun here? And or how can I have fun here? How can I make this into something that is fun to do, exciting to do, and I'm happy to do it. I'm glad to do it because I don't want to stress myself over my goals. It would be a self-defeating choice if I would achieve my goals and not have fun during the process and just wait until the results come and I don't have fun with the process, then I'm losing a huge chunk of my life. And I don't want that. I only have one shot at life. You only have one shot at life. You only have this life that you could ever live in. Always remember, this is the youngest you'll ever be. No one can, you're always aging, you're always growing. And so you got to make sure that in every second, every moment in your life, you're having fun, you're smiling, you're allowing happiness and joy to come into your life, regardless whether you're in a troublesome life. If you take life too seriously, life will not take you seriously. Have fun. Have fun with the results, but also have fun with the process. So those are my top three values. Now, I think those are a pretty set of values, I could say. But of course, again, we are a case to case basis. We have different circumstances. Some of you might value security more than fun. Some of you might value stability more than adventure. Some of you might value comfort over growth. And if that's you, then go do it. Allow yourself to be guided by those values. Just make sure that you are aware that these are your values and these are the set of principles that you are going to follow. So if ever, you're faced with the decisions, you're going to ask yourself, are these aligned with my values? For example, I recently come up with a project like I recently came up with a project. I've been proposed to do a project, a kind of talk there will be a lot of beneficiaries in this talk. I like it. I like their program, and so here's the thing: I can choose to refuse to go on that talk, but I realized that these are aligned with my values. In making the decision whether I would like to give a talk on this event, I asked myself these three questions. Will it help me grow? Will it provide adventure in my life? And will I have fun doing that? And my answer, 3 yeses. So I said yes to it, right? And I know for a fact that when we're this young, when we're starting out, we need all the yeses that we can get, right? But when you know your values, it's not only the yeses that matters. What else? It's the no's. Because when you say yes to one thing, you're basically saying no to a lot of things. And you won't be able to weigh like which one is better if you don't know your values. Now that I know my values, even though it does not give me a huge paycheck, I don't mind. I'll grow. It'll give me adventure. I'll have fun. Those are my values right now. Not money. Not my finance. Not a huge paycheck. Those are not my values. But if that's your value, then it would make sense if you'd say no to that kind of project and say yes to some other projects. Because when you say no to one thing, you're saying yes to a lot of things as well, right? So again, there's really no right and wrong decision, only decisions that make sense to you. And if you want your decisions to make sense, so that you won't be able to regret them in the future, ask yourself, is this decision aligned with my values? And so that's your assignment for this episode. Go ahead and Google what are your values. And I want to know, what are your values? Write them down as you share this on your social media platforms. Do not forget to tag me if you're sharing this on Instagram. Thank you so much. You guys are really helping the podcast grow. If you're sharing this on Instagram, go ahead and tag me at Alec. And I want to know, what are your top 3 values? What are your top 3 values? Google it if you're not familiar. If you already know the answer, write them down, share it with the world, post it to make sure that you are being held accountable for the values that you have. And also, just share this with the people that you love and you like. This concept is really life-changing, and it will help you a lot as you move forward. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this is Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact, now exclusively on Spotify, powered by Anchor. And I'll talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.